Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 758th battle I've put onto our Brotherhood YouTube channel. Now, this is a Barbarian Invasion battle, and just to say that Barbarian Invasion is a really great battle. Is a really great game, but it's kind of always been in the shadow of its big brother, Rome Total War. Now, we play Rome Total War every Friday and Saturday night, but in the last, I think, 3 Sundays, we have kind of resurrected Barbarian Invasion. And we're learning it, or relearning Barbarian Invasion every Sunday night now. We found it to be a really good game. As I say, I think a lot of people in the past maybe not have given Barbarian Invasion a chance, because obviously Rome Total War is such a great game, and it is its big brother that most people stuck with Rome Total War. But we've been giving Barbarian Invasion another chance, as I say, in the last few Sundays, and we found it to be a really good game. And last Sunday we were playing a lot of 4v4 battles, which is very unusual for Barbarian Invasion, and we were playing until 1:30 Monday morning. So we went on at about 9:30 Sunday evening, and we were still playing until 1:30 Monday morning, and most of us had to get up for work Monday morning, so it just goes to show how much we were enjoying this game. Okay, this is fought on a custom map, and it is supplied by Brotherhood member Crypto. Now, Crypto's bought the Saxon faction, and he's bought 18 infantry and 2 cavalry. Okay, 18 infantry and 2 cavalry. And I think this might be one of the first times Crypto's ever played Barbarian Invasion. And he's bought the Saxon Hearth troops here, his infantry. He's bought the Saxon Hearth troops. I think he's bought 18 units of them. Well, most people that bring Saxons usually got a combination of effective against armour, axemen, and these Saxon Hearth troops. There's usually kind of a mixture of them. So to bring 18 Saxon Hearth troops is unusual for a Saxon army there. But as I say, it's only the first or second time that Crypto's played Barbarian Invasion, and we're all still learning it anyway. So there you go. We've got a couple of cavalry units there as well. The warlord units there, so they'll have hit points on them. But as I say, we're all learning Barbarian Invasion at the moment, so we're all experimenting with different armies and different factions and things like that. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Uther. Now, Uther's bought the Sassanid faction. Now, Uther's got 4 foot archers, 8 immortal Clibanarii, and 2 elephants. Okay, so there are the desert archers. Obviously, if this was a desert map, they would get a bonus, but they've got long range, they can do a lot of damage, and they're pretty good. But if you notice here, can you see that Uther's only put 1 upgrade on those desert archers? So that tells me that he's spent his money on his cavalry. Okay, he's got 4 of those. Now, if we have a look at his cavalry units that he's bought, you'll see he's bought the Clibanarii Immortals. Now, these are some of the toughest cavalry, if maybe the best cavalry units in the game. I think they've got a 30 defense before you even put any upgrades on them, and they've got 2 hit points as well. If you notice, they're also horse archers. Okay, they are horse archers as well, but when you alt-attack them, they use effective against armour maces. So make no mistake, these Clibanarii Immortals, they really do seem like that sometimes on the battlefield. Very, very difficult to kill. And it'll be interesting to see how well Uther used them during the course of the battle. They've always got his elephants there as well, with the archers on the back. The Sassanid faction in Barbarian Invasion is the only faction that's got elephants. So it'll be interesting to see how well Uther handles them during the course of the battle. Okay, so there's Uther's experimental Sassanid army with those Clibanarii Immortal cavalry. Those of you that play Barbarian Invasion might remember that cavalry and how tough it is. Okay, our next teammate is someone who's called himself OTD Chimrizig, but is in fact Scorpion King SR, and he has bought the Roman Eastern Empire faction there. Now, he's got 10 comitatenses, 5 spear units, 1 cavalry unit, and 1 peasant unit. There you are, there's the comitatensis there. It's an eagle unit. All the comitatensive 122-man units are eagle units, so they're giving lots of morale to the army. They throw pilers, but they've got a long range in comparison to RTW. Okay, these guys have got a long range with their pilers, so that's quite useful in this game. And if you notice here, you'll see that Scorpion King's bought spear units here called the Limitate, I believe. And these, of course, anything with a spear or pike, the same as RTW or anti-cavalry units there. So I'm guessing he might use these spear units as his pilot shield units there to maybe protect against any enemy cavalry coming in there at all. So as I say, this is all experimental. All our armies are experimental there. And also he's got a peasant unit there, as you can see. Okay, there's a peasant unit. And of course that's quite good at soaking up enemy missiles. If you put them out in front of your main battle formation there, that's quite good. And also here, just like to show you a religious unit. Now, morale both on RTW and Barbarian Invasion is very important, but especially on Barbarian Invasion, morale can be a real issue with units. So to bring a morale boosting unit like a religious unit is a really good tactical move, and that's why Scorpion King's bought this unit here, to give his troops the extra morale bonus that they may well need later on in the battle there. Okay, I notice he's only got one cavalry unit though, and that's unusual for this Roman faction because they've got thunderous cavalry there. But this unit he's bought is the Imperial Household Bodyguard. Now this is also one of the best cavalry units in the game. Okay, if ever you get a chance to play this game, have a look at this unit. The specifications are absolutely amazing, and if you notice there, he's fully upgraded this unit as well. There's his general there, looks quite good in its purple uniform there. So that is a really elite cavalry unit there, and they take a lot of killing. But as I say, it's unusual for him not to bring any of their effective against armor heavy cavalry. This faction here, this Roman faction here, have got really elite cavalry, so that's unusual. Our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought the Romano-British. I've got 9 infantry, 2 archers, 1 priest, 2 artillery, and 6 Grail Knights. Okay, so that's my. I'm actually finding this faction is my faction of choice recently. I've noticed. There you are. There's my legionnaires with 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. They throw pilers. Can you see they're holding the pilers there in their spear hand? So they actually throw missiles at enemy troops. And they seem to me to be quite solid infantry as well, which is suits my kind of style of play. There, if you notice, there are archers here. The archers are mid-range, cheap mid-range archers, so they're not great. But I like to bring a couple of them just to, add a little bit of archer cover there. And then we come to the elite Grail Knights here. Okay, now most cavalry units are 54-man units. You only get 32 with these because they're such elite cavalry there. If you notice, they're armored from head to toe. Literally, you can see their faces, heads, body, armor from head to toe, and these are really tough elite cavalry, and I've got 6 of them. As I say, you only get 32 because they're so elite there. So that's my Romano-British army there. And if you notice there, I've bought some priests there, that's some monks, sorry, that will be giving morale bonus to my troops. I put a lot of upgrades on them as well. If you notice, I've got 7 upgrades on those monks there. Try and keep them alive as long as I can, because as I say, morale is a real issue on this game, and you need as much morale as you can get. Right, you've got Crypto with the Saxons there. You've got Uther with the Sassanids. You've got Scorpion King with Roman Eastern Empire, and you've got myself with Romano Britain. This should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Celt faction. Now he's got 4 berserkers, 5 cavalry, 6 infantry, and 4 Pictish crossbowmen. Now here, if you have a look, this is a Scotty chariot. I think this is the only faction with a chariot unit in it. And these guys throw spears. They're fast moving, can throw spears, and can be a real nuisance to enemy troops, but they can be killed quite quickly by enemy archers. They're nothing like the chariots on Rome Total War. These are really just light chariots there, and as I say, they can be killed quite quickly by archers. Have a look at some of his other units here. There you'll see he's got his Pictish spearmen at the front of his battle formation there. Remember, anything with a spear or pike in Rome Total War or Barbarian Invasion are anti-cavalry units there, so that will stop any cavalry charges directly into the front of his battle formation. And then he's got his Pictish crossbowmen there. Okay, now these guys have got short range, but they fire effective against armor crossbow bolts, so they can be quite effective at close range against heavily armored troops. Then you got his callow glasses here. Okay, the gallow glasses here. Tough, that's their elite infantry there. Okay. And he usually puts good upgrades on his there you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fully upgraded gallow glasses there. I just thought it was funny. Can you see this end guy here looking at this other man here? Look, you see how he's looking at him, thinking, what's he doing there? Look, you see what he's looking at him there? It's like, I just thought that was quite funny there. And in amongst their cavalry here, you got the cavalry here, which are the noble clansmen. They're like mediocre cavalry. They're not brilliant, but they're not terrible. They are very kind of mediocre cavalry, the Celt cavalry. But in amongst the cavalry, you've got the Hounds of Kulan, which are berserker units there. Now, if you look at the specifications of the Hounds of Kulan in comparison to other berserkers, you will find the other berserkers' specifications are better than these guys. But these Hounds of Kulan have got effective against armor maces that other berserkers in this game have not got, and also they paint their body purple to try and scare enemy troops more. So I think that these guys may well have a bigger fear factor than other berserkers. When you see the other berserkers, they don't paint their bodies, but these guys do. And if you remember that troops back in the day fighting the Romans, they used to paint their bodies to make themselves look more scary, to put fear into the enemy troops. So I just wonder whether these Hounds of Kulan painting their bodies purple there to try and scare the enemy troops, they may well have a bigger fear factor, in other words sapping more morale from enemy troops than other berserker units there. I just wondered that may well be the case, just my opinion there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member TR. Now, he's bought the Alemanni faction. Now, he has got 4 archers, 3 spearmen, 5 chosen axemen, 4 cavalry, 3 berserkers, and 1 artillery unit. Okay, so there, once again, he's got a 121-man spear warband unit out in front of his main battle formation there, anti-cavalry. Okay, and that's a cheap unit as well, so it can soak up enemy missiles. Now, you've got 2 lots of archers with the Alemanni. You've got the armoured archers with mid-range, okay, or you've got these Lombard archers with long range but are not armoured. Okay, so these guys, if they come into archer range of enemy troops, they can be quite decimated, whereas the armoured archers, shorter range, but of course they're wearing armour. There's another spear, a couple of spear band units there. And then you've got the chosen axemen. Now, these chosen axemen are effective against armour axes there. Look, can you see those axes there? And used properly, they can cut wide swathes through heavily armoured troops like Roman infantry. And then he's gone for the Barbarian Noble Cavalry. Now, these cavalry are really good. With good upgrades on, they can be very, very effective. So I think that's a pretty good Alemanni army of TRs there. And he already got his artillery unit there as well. So it's a pretty good unit there. Pretty good army there. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Demon. Now, he's bought the Roman Western Empire, and he's got 10 Plumbarturi, 2 comitatenses, 1 spear unit, 5 cavalry, and 2 carriage ballistas. Okay, we allow 2 carriage ballistas max in this game. So that's why he's only got 2 there. And it's, I say, we're all learning these different armies and stuff like that. It's all about just experimenting, really. There's 4 lots of Roman factions in this game. You can see he's got his Plumbarturi there. If you look closely, can you see the darts that they carry in their shield hand? Now, these Plumbarturi throw these little darts called Plumbarti, which are effective against armor, and they've got loads of them, and they can, make no mistake, they can decimate enemy armies in front of them before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting with the amount of darts, those armor effective against armored darts there. Then he's got an auxiliary Palatina spear unit there as well, look, which would be anti-cavalry. That's a useful place to put them there. Look, once again, any cavalry attack would be repulsed by them there. He's got mostly Plumbarturi, but I think he's got a couple of comitatenses, which is of course the eagle units there. Let's see the 2 eagle units there. So that's going to be giving his army, his infantry there, a lot of morale boost there with those 2 eagle units. But as I say, the Plumbarturi units there just those effective against armoured darts they throw are decimations, they really are. And here you've got the carriage ballistas. Now these kind of darts or arrows that they fire, they're so penetrating, if you shoot them into the front of an enemy battle formation, it'll come out the back of the battle formation, killing loads of men as it goes through that battle formation. So that's why we only allow 2 carriage ballistas in our games there, because they are so devastating there. And then you've got the Sarmatian Auxiliary Cavalry. These are good cavalry as well, pretty good. So as I say, in this game the Roman factions are very strong, so you need good tactics to be able to come up against them there, and it's mostly because of their missiles. The amount of missiles that they've got cause so many trouble. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member AM Nestos, and also if you notice there, he's got really into the swing of this game because he's calling himself AM Nestos the Hun, and the Hun faction is his faction of choice. If you notice here, can you see that it's a 66-man unit? Now most cavalry units, all the other cavalry units in the game are 54, okay, but these Hun units are 66. So that's why they that's because they're a real cavalry faction, aren't they, the Huns? So what we allow them to have 4 horse archers, because they've got no foot archers and their infantry is so poor. There's no cavalry limit on the Huns. There's no max on the Huns. They can bring as much cavalry as they want. Now there's their 4 horse archers there. These Hunic elite warriors are, make no mistake, these horse archers are really elite units there. Okay, so that's why we allow them to have 4 horse archers instead of 2, because they've got no foot archers there. So you've got Barclayman with the Celts, you've got TR with the Alemanni, you've got Demon with the Roman Western Empire, and you've got AM Nestos the Hun with the Huns there. This should be a cracking battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, we've literally just pressed start. You can see that Barclayman here is taking one of his fast-moving Scotty chariots around the flank of my army there. Okay, now do you notice anything about the back of these chariots? Those of you that play Rome Total War, can you see the Britannia symbol there on the back of the Scotty chariot? Those of you that play Rome Total War will recognise that from the Britannia faction there. So I just thought that was a nice little touch that the makers put on that the back of that Scottish chariot there, the Scotty chariot. And you can see them, he's moving around the flank. Now what he wants to do with that fast moving chariot, if he could, is get around the flank here and target my Onager crews. Make no mistake about that, that's where he wants to get in there, to get into range of my Onager crews to kill them if he can. Okay, but as I said, those Scotty chariots are very easy to kill with archers there. So as you can see, I've got a couple of archers there that I will be kind of watching that Scotty chariot. He will also know that he doesn't want to get in range of my archers there, because as I say, archers will kill those chariots really quickly. As I say, I'm moving my army over to the centre there towards my allies, but make no mistake, I will be watching that Scotty chariot with my archers there as he's trying to get in on an angle to try and get to my my Onager crews there. Okay, also here you'll see Scorpion King's thrown his peasant unit right out into the middle of the battlefield there, hoping to attract enemy archer fire. Of course, this is the cheapest unit in the game, and he would love the enemy to use their elite archers to shoot their elite arrows into that peasant unit there. Over here on our left flank, you'll see that AM Nestos there is bringing his horse archers there, his Hunic elite Hun horse archers there. Probably was looking to try and target Crypto's Saxon troops there. Whether he'll want to come up against those Clibanarii Immortals of Uther's, we'll just have to wait and see. But as I say, you can see there, let's go for a little ride with these Hunic horse archers there as we move forward there. I quite like doing that. It's almost like you're on a horse with them, isn't it, running towards the enemy troops there, as you can see him moving forward there. But as I say, make no mistake, these are elite horse archers there, but coming up against those Clibanarii and Immortals, I would think that they will come off, these Hun horse archers will come off worse if Uther decides to turn those Clibanarii Immortals towards them. It'll be interesting to see what Uther's going to do there. There you can see Uther bringing some of his foot archers forward there as well to target those Hun horse archers, as well as he's got his let's say Clibanarii immortal cavalry he can bring forward as well. There, horse archers in this game can be very, very effective, by the way. They are quite powerful. That's why we restrict other factions to do just 2 horse archers in this game. But as I say, because the Huns have got no foot archers at all, we allow them to have 4 horse archers there. As I say, we've changed the rules a bit on this game in comparison to what we do on RTW, as you will see. Right, as you can see here that Amnestos there has decided he's going to charge his horse archers, I'm guessing, into Scorpion King's peasant unit there. Now remember, Scorpion King's got no cavalry, so he can't cover any of his units if they get hit by cavalry. Get ready for this, and bang, as it smashes in there. It wouldn't surprise me if that peasant unit started to rout. I'm surprised. Oh, there you are. It's just routed now. I'm surprised it didn't rout earlier, actually. But there, that was a nice hit there by Amnestos there. But I'm guessing that peasant unit will probably rally there and come back into the fray. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, Scorpion King's put his spear units at the front of his battle formation there to put off any cavalry attacks that may well be trying to come in on his battle formation there, because of course those spear units will be anti-cavalry there. Okay, his one cavalry unit that he has got is his general unit there, and that's that Imperial Household cavalry unit there, and he's got that watching that Scotty chariot there, helping me there, trying to keep that Scotty chariot away from my artillery units there. So as I say, you can see there now that Amnestos is moving his horse archers away from Scorpion King's units there. But if you notice here, can you see the enemy to me look like they formed up in a defensive formation here, and I think they're just kind of awaiting and inviting us to attack. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to do that or whether we're going to stand back and let them come to us. Should be a great one to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you'll see that Scorpion King here is leading the charge for our team, as he usually does there, moving his Roman units forward there. You can see he's getting hit by a lot of fire arrows there coming in on his forward spear units there. But say he's moving forward there, always very aggressive, is Scorpion King. And with his Roman army there, he knows his troops are pretty solid there, especially his comitatensis units there. Okay, so say he's got his spear units out the front there, and as I say, he's got his comitatensis there at the rear, all eagle units there. So as I say, there's a lot of morale going on there, plus he's got his unit. Now if you notice, as I say, he's got no cavalry there, and I think he didn't bring any cavalry because he knew that Uther was going to bring his Sassanid cavalry there. That's the reason I think that Scorpion King didn't bring any of his elite cavalry. You can see a lot of his peasant units have been killed there, as we saw earlier. But that's the reason Scorpion King hasn't bought his elite cavalry, is because I think he knew that Uther would be bringing his elite cavalry there. But believe me, the faction that Scorpion King's got there, that the cavalry in that faction is absolutely amazing. It is effective against armour, and is really, really effective in all kind of aspects of cavalry fighting there. So it'd be interesting to see how well Scorpion King does with that army with no cavalry. Now you've got TR's archers there shooting into troops. You'll notice that our artillery, both teams' artillery there, are shooting into our teams there. You can see that. Look, those fire pots going in. Bang! As that fire pot hits there. But if you notice here, can you see that Demon's moving his red Roman army forward there towards Scorpion King? Now the reason he's doing that is because he's got so many Plumbartarii units throwing the Plumbartarii darts. You'll be amazed how much damage they can do. Over on our left flank here, you can see Amnestos with his Hun faction there. Looks like he's exchanging arrows with Uther's Clibanarii immortals. But as I say, these immortal cavalry, they don't seem to be affected by archer fire. I've seen them in the past, they don't seem to suffer casualties from archers, but those Hunnic horse archers will. But at the back here, you'll see we've got all our artillery here, shooting fire pots into the enemy troops. Okay, this is one thing about bringing artillery to the battles. I think it really adds more realism to the battles there, as both teams were shooting fire pots into each other as they're advancing onto each other. But here, as I say, Demons got a lot of Plumbarteri units throwing those effective against armor metal darts into Scorpion King's units there. Just look, it looks like it's raining darts there. Just look at those darts. If you look closely at them, can you see they've got the red flights on the end, but they're all armor piercing, all effective against armor there. And can you imagine the damage that so many of those darts being thrown into enemy troops can do here? I mean, look at this unit here, been reduced to 30 men already. Now these guys throw spears here. You can see this spear unit, as I say, is an anti-cavalry unit, but it actually throws spears as well. But against that rain of kind of those effective against armor Plumbarteri darts coming in on them there. I mean, just look at the devastation that those darts can do to a unit. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of Scorpion King's forward units were just completely taken out by the casualties that these Plumbarteri units can cause with the amount of firepower that they've got there and the rate of fire that they can throw them as well. They really do a lot of damage there. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say, with all those darts are thrown in there, you can see the casualty there. One unit of Scorpion Kings that taken completely out just by those effective against armor Plumbarteri darts there. You can see that there, and you can see more units being affected as well. Over here on our right flank, you'll see that Crypto's moving his Saxon army towards Barclayman's Celt army there. Okay. Let's say we've got our artillery there shooting into the enemy team there, shooting fire pots in. Remember, fire pots do more damage to enemy troops than the boulders. The boulders are more accurate to try and take out enemy artillery. But as I say here, you can see Scorpion King's purple, if you like, their Roman troops, as you can see, against the red Roman troops of Demons there. But it looks to me like our Saxon ally looks very aggressive there. You can see those fire pots landing in on the enemy troops there. I think we've got more artillery than them. But as I say, you can see Crypto being very aggressive with his Saxon troops there as he moves in towards the Celts there. That should be an interesting scrap there, because it's the Saxons usually are Barclayman's faction of choice there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that Amnestos there with his horse archers are having a little bit of a tussle there with Uther's Sassanid immortals there. You can see this cavalry as it moves away from enemy troops. It can still turn in the saddle and shoot arrows at those troops. And of course, you've got those elite Hun cavalry there, heavy cavalry, ready to be thrown into the fray at any time. So it'll be interesting to see how well Amnestos uses those. Here, as I say, you can see that Demons infantry is still throwing those darts. And there's another full unit, look, of Scorpion Kings just been taken out by the volume of those effective against armor darts thrown into them there. So you can see whole units of Scorpion Kings, forward units of his battle formation taken out or routed just by the sheer number of the darts, those effective against armor darts that those Roman troops were throwing in there. Those Plumbarteri units, if you got a lot of them in your Roman army, the damage they can do to enemy troops before you even get into hand-to-hand fighting is amazing, really. That was some nice hits by our fire pots there. Now it'll be interesting to see what Crypto's going to do here with his Saxon army against the Celts here. It'll be interesting to see. It wouldn't surprise me if that forward unit of the Celts routed there, simply because it's nowhere near its general. There you are. And the morale is so low in this game that it would rout. But as I say, a lot of our fire pots there that hitting the enemy Rome there, Demons units getting hit there. But look, can you see they're still throwing those effective against armoured darts into poor old Scorpion King's Roman troops there, still causing them massive casualties there. As I say, both teams are shooting fire pots into each other. Now here you can see Crypto moving his Saxon army now forward towards Barclayman's Celts there. Okay, so I think it looks to me like Crypto's going to be very aggressive here on our right flank. Okay, you can see him moving forward there with his Saxon army. There you go, you can see that there, and you can see that Barclayman's there, got his gallows glasses there, infantry waiting there for the attack. So as I say, here you can see Crypto moving forward towards him, but he needs to be aware of TR's Alemanni army there as well, with the Berserkers. Now there are the Lombard Berserkers. Notice, as I said before, they're not painted like the Hounds of Kulan are. They're just ordinary kind of, you know, as I say, no frightening paint on their bodies like the Hounds of Kulan and the Celts, but they may well come in on to Crypto's Saxons there, as well as the Celts. Now over here, remember, these Pictish crossbowmen firing their effective against armour crossbow bolts. They're slow to load and they're only short range, but they can cause a lot of casualties to enemy troops there. You can see here that Barclayman has got his Hounds of Kulan Berserkers ready. In this game we have a 4 Berserker max instead of 3 like we do in RTW. On this game we have 4 Berserker max with their effective. These guys have got their effective against armor maces, and of course got their bodies painted there to hopefully bring more fear factor to the enemy troops. You can see there Crypto still moving forward with his Saxons towards the enemy Celts there. But as I say, those Pictish crossbowmen there will be shooting lots of effective against armour crossbow bolts into Crypto's army there. But as you can see here, Crypto being very, very aggressive with his Saxon troops there against the Celts there. Just pause the game for a second there. Right, you will see here that at the back here, that carriage ballista that Demons bought, that we looked at easier, is going to be shooting bolts or arrows into Crypto's army there, and those bolts go into the forward part of the battle formation and come out the back, killing loads of men in between there. You can see here I'm moving my Romano-British troops up here to support Crypto against any attack there by the Alemanni or the Celts there. And over here on our left flank you'll see that Nestos there is moving his Hun cavalry around there, possibly ready to attack Uther's Clibanarii cavalry there. Be interesting to see what happens there, or he may well use his cavalry to smash in some of our weakened units there. He may well try and do that there. But as I say, you can still see here that Demon's infantry is still throwing those darts, those effective against armor metal darts, into Scorpion King's infantry. Look, he's still got loads of them left. They seem to have loads of those effective against armor darts. Like I say, they can decimate enemy troops before they even get to hand fighting. Meanwhile, over here you'll see that Crypto there is fighting there. Barclayman's activated one of his Hound of Kulan's Berserkers there. Look, you see, with their effective against armor maces there. Do you see how they do that turn there and kill many troops as they go round in a circle there? If you notice there that I think Crypto's put several of his units in to shield wall formation. You'll see Scorpion King bringing some of his purple Roman infantry over here to try and counter that Celt attack on Crypto's Saxons there. Nice bit of support there by Scorpion King. There, can you see here that Crypto's put some of his units into shield wall? Can you see the shield wall formation there? That's supposed to be very effective, very a good defensive formation there. And you can see that he's put a lot of his units into that, I think, shield wall formation there. So it'd be interesting to see how well they hold. Here you can see he's moving some of his guys across there to try and take out those Pictish crossbowmen. But as I say, here you can see Crypto's trying to hold against those 2 Berserker units there as he moves these units forward towards those Pictish crossbowmen there. But he needs to be aware of enemy cavalry there as well that may well smash into him. He's moving another unit out here to try and counter the enemy cavalry. Okay, but here you can see that TR is bringing some of his units into attacking Scorpion King's Roman troops there. Right, now can you see all this Hun cavalry now of Nestos? Look, he's bringing them across now to smash in to our Roman ally. Plus there's some Alemanni Berserker units have been activated by TR as well, looking like he's going to charge in on us as well. So at the moment we've got Scorpion King's infantry there, my infantry, and Crypto's infantry. Meanwhile over here you'll see that Demon's bringing his Roman troops back from moving forward there. He looks like he's bringing them back. He may well attack us in that position as well. But as I say, you can see there's going to be a massive impact of cavalry here, going to charge into our troops. Get ready for this. There you are. You can see all that Hun cavalry coming in there. Look, and bang, as it smashes in there. And look at all the berserkers. Can you see those red banners that are flashing on and off? That's where the berserkers are activated, and they are now attacking. Here comes that Celtic cavalry charging in. Those barbarian noble cavalry charging into Crypto's Saxon army. Let's pause again for a second here. So look, you've got, see those banners flashing there. You've got Barclayman's and you've got TR's berserkers there. So you've got 4 berserker units there attacking Scorpion King's Roman purple units there. Can you see that? Plus all that Hun cavalry. If you notice, I've got my Romano-British right behind that Roman infantry there, ready to try and hold if I have to there, if they break through. But over here, we saw those Crypto's units there, Saxon units there, were sent off to try and kill those Pictish crossbowmen. Well, most of them have been routed now, as you can see, and a lot of Crypto's army is beginning to rout now, if you notice that. Can you see his Saxon army there, his brown Saxon army there, being attacked by those Saxon cavalry and infantry. And over here, you can see there's cavalry, enemy cavalry coming in on my forward units now. Right, let's just pause the game for a second now. So you can see Scorpion King's Roman units have been forced back into the forward units of my battle formation there by all that enemy cavalry. There's I see Demon's brought his red Roman cavalry in as well, plus those 4 berserker units. I've got my Grail Knights locked and loaded here, and I'm going to charge them through my infantry into the enemy troops in a second there, try and take the pressure off. Here you can see Scorpion King's got his cavalry general close by our fighting troops that give a morale bonus to our troops there. Okay, so as I say, this could be the make or break of the battle right here, what we're looking at here. And as I say, you can see the Sassanids here, those immortal Clibanarii cavalry. Uther's charged in to those enemy Roman troops there. Okay, so you can see Uther's trying to take pressure off of us. He's bringing his elephants in as well. Look, going to hit the enemy there. Hopefully try and go for a rout there if he can. If those elephants start routing those enemy units there, we could get a mass rout possibly. But as I say, my infantry there looks like it's holding up a heck of a lot of enemy troops there, trying to push in on me there. Just look at that massive load of troops. They're doing a surge attack. Can you see they're surging into my infantry? So I'm now counter-attacking with my Grail Knights. Look, and bang, as I smash into the enemy troops there. So that's all my infantry and all my cavalry are now engaged against all those enemy troops pushing in on my Romano-British army there. Okay, just look at the pressure that my troops are under. Oh my gosh, I think that's a Saxon general. Oh my gosh, here comes this Celtic cavalry coming in on the flank of my infantry and cavalry as well now. But I think most of the Saxon units of Crypto have now been routed. As you can see, I think all except 1 unit of Crypto's army has now been routed by those Celts. And they are now being able to, now they've taken out Crypto's army, they can now attack my army. But look at the pressure on my Romano-British troops there. Just look at all those enemy troops pushing in. As I say, good move here by Crypto putting, Scorpion King putting his troops in, his general in behind me for extra morale. Plus I got my monks there, giving him extra morale as well. But over here you can see that Uther's charging elephants, and one of his elephants units has already been routed there. And you can see he's got 1 other elephant unit in the fray. But it'll be interesting to see how well that unit does, or whether it'll rout there, because there's a berserker unit there that will kill a lot of those elephants there. You can see, so that other elephant units run amok as well now. So as I say, just look at the massive impact of all those berserkers now, and all that enemy cavalry and infantry charging in on my units. You can see that Uther has charged his Sassanid cataphracts into the fray, but we've still got 4 berserker units attacking us there, plus all the enemy cavalry and infantry charging in there as well. You can see my Grail Knights. Can you see I've alt-attacked my Grail Knights, so they are now using their heavy swords instead of their light lances. I can't believe that we're still holding here against this massive amount of enemy troops pushing in on us there. I just can't believe it, especially with those berserkers taking the morale away from our troops there. Here you can see Uther's got his desert archers, close range shooting arrows into the enemy troops there as well. Nice bit of support there by both Uther and Scorpion King there, getting their troops in there, and that Scorpion King's general there giving morale bonus. Oh, here comes Aenestos' general coming in behind my troops, like bang, as he charges into the rear of my troops, and yet my Romano-British troops are still holding. There's a close-up of the fight in there. You can see my Grail Knights using their heavy swords there, but you can see the Berserker units in there cutting down my Grail Knights there. I think the Scorpion King's general's just been taken out. And as I say, just look at that massive amount of enemy cavalry and infantry there pushing in on my Grail Knights and my Romano-British infantry as well. This is a good bit of support here by Uther using his Sassanid heavy cavalry there, like charging in there, trying to get rid of those Celtic cavalry coming in on my flank. But once again, look, that Celtic cavalry of Barclay Man's going to charge into the flank of my infantry. Look, and bang! Oh my gosh, I think my general's just been taken out there. Okay, so they are, all my infantry has just routed. All my infantry's just been taken out there by that Celtic cavalry coming in behind me there. And you can see basically all my units are routed. I think I might have a couple of cavalry units still fighting there, but all my infantry has just been routed there. I thought it held for quite a long time against those massive odds there. So there you are, and you can see Crypto's got one unit or maybe two units left now that he's rallied there. But as I say, most of my units have been taken. There you are, I've got 2 units left there, and you can see that Uther's Sassanid cavalry there is still fighting really well against the enemy troops. But look at all that cavalry closing in on Uther's Clibanarii Immortals there. If you look closely there, can you see that? If you just pause the game for a second there, you can see that Uther's alt-attacked and his immortal Clibanarii are now using their effective against armor maces. Okay, so they'll be very effective with them there. As I say, these immortal Clibanarii cavalry are really amazing, really. And as I say, they're horse archers. They got a good long range with those bows, but then they can also use effective against armor maces. And here's a good move here by TR. Notice he's keeping his general out of the fray, but keeping his general close to the fight in there, so his general is giving morale bonus, not just to his troops, but to his allies' troops as well. So that's a nice little move there by TR. You'll notice that there's anti-cavalry spearmen in there as well. Oh, there's one of my Romano-British infantry units still fighting there. I can't believe it, but I think they're just about to be overrun by enemy troops as the Sassanids pull back. Yeah, they are. I think that's the last of my units now. So my entire army, I think, has now been taken out by the enemy troops there. So, now will the immortal Clibanarii of Uther's Sassanids be able to turn this battle around? It'll be interesting to see there. You can see we've still got some artillery left that we're shooting into the enemy troops, but as I say, it'll be interesting to see what Uther's going to do with those elite cavalry units of his there. You can see the enemy moving forward. You can see the Berserker units still coming towards us there, and you can see Uther's Sassanids there. Just look at all those enemy troops moving towards us. Now that is the entirety of Uther's army there, his Clibanarii cavalry. There you can see Scorpion King's rallied a couple of his Roman units there. He's thrown them into the fray, but rallied units' morale is usually pretty low, and they've just been routed there.
The gods be praised. The enemy
there you can see Uther charging his Clibanarii in there, like, and bang, as he charges in there. Now, make no mistake, he's alt-attack, look, using his effective against armor maces against these troops. Can he turn this battle around with these elite cavalry? Or is there just too many enemy troops there? There's some more enemy cavalry coming in behind him, look. There's infantry going in there. I saw there's a spear unit going in, or anti-cavalry spear unit going in there as well. Remember, Uther's cavalry are the blue here. Cavalry there using their effective against armor maces against. There's a berserker unit in there as well, killing Uther's troops. So just looking at the amount of enemy troops left here, I just don't think Uther's going to manage to turn it around. He's just got his general unit left now, look. And you can see all those enemy troops are after him. You've got a couple of his cavalry units have just rallied. He may well turn and charge in there at any time. Try and take those berserkers out. That's what he may well do. But as I say, you can see I think the writers on the wall here just looking at the enemy troops. There you are now. He's turned now on those berserkers. But those berserkers in this game are really tough. There you can see those berserkers are starting to cut down his cavalry there. And just look at his cavalry being cut down there. His general's going to go soon, I think. Looking at the way those berserkers are targeting the general there. Can you see his general getting hit by those? There you are. That's his general down as well now. So
this loss is hard for us.
So well done to the other team there. A great victory for them there. It's a good win there. But it's quite a spread out battle. If you look anywhere on the battlefield there, you can see dead. Over here, you can see here. Now these are the charred bodies, I think, of Demon's infantry, where we hit him so many times with fire pots there. So you can see that all the charred bodies there. As we move further up into the battlefield here, you can see where Uther's elephants were killed, I think mostly by berserkers there, when he charged in with his elephants and cavalry. Unfortunately, as I say, there was a berserker unit there that stopped the elephants doing what they would normally do and maybe get a mass rout. Over here, look, just look at the dead here. You can see how intense the fighting was. This is where my Romano-British army made its last stand here. Before it was taken out by that mass of enemy troops there. And over here, I think this is where most of Crypto's Saxon troops were taken out. If you look closely, you'll see it's mostly Saxon dead there, where most of his army was taken out. So you can see it was very intense fighting just there. Some more dead there as well. There we can see. So that looks like a lot of Celts got killed there. But if we look at the troops that are left here, you can see how close the battle was. I think was pretty close. I think Nestos has got maybe one unit left. He's got that one unit there, maybe two. He's got one man left in that unit there. So that's all the men that he's got left. There, just those two units, and one of those units was just one man. And so that just goes to show how much of a battle of attrition that is. You can see the enemy units there have been quite decimated in this battle. So I just wonder whether this would be a close victory for them or maybe an average victory. I'm not sure. Looking at the units they've got left, I'm thinking possibly average. I don't know what you guys are thinking there. But there you are. Yeah, average defeat there. The first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well there. Bearing in mind we're all experimenting there. Let's say it's an average defeat there. We are all experimenting with Barbarian Invasion there. And who got the highest kills in the game? And it goes to Brotherhood member Barclayman with the Celt faction. A lot of people tend to look at the Celt faction as a lesser 30k. We play for 30k on Barbarian Invasion. They seem to look at it as a lesser 30k faction. But as you can see, Barclayman got the highest kills in the game, so well done to him. Well done to TR with the Alemanni units there, army there. As I say, if we get less than 1,000 kills, I guess we are a little bit disappointed, but he did well there. Well done to Demon as well, throwing all those effective against armor darts in there. He did really well. That's where he got most of his kills from, I guess. And Nestos did well with the Huns as well. So really well played, guys. Well deserved victory. And my Romano-British there just about managed to scrape in the second highest kills. So I'm very pleased with that. Well done to Crypto with Saxons. Obviously he's going to be disappointed with the kills that he's got, but that was only the second or third time I think he's ever played Barbarian Invasion, so he would have learnt from that, as we all do. We're all learning in this game, so as I say, he will be a bit disappointed, but next time he plays, he may well bring a different army there, or maybe a different faction. Well done to Uther with the Assassinates. He got the third highest kills there. So we got the second and third highest kills in the game. And well done to Scorpion King there. Not too bad, but as I say, if we get less than 1,000 kills, I suppose we're a bit disappointed there. So really well done. A nice diverse battle at Romano-British for us. Saxons, Sassanid and Rome for our team, so quite diverse there. And then we got the Celts, we got the Alemanni, Rome, and the Huns for the other team there. So very diverse battle. As I say, every Sunday evening about 9:30 we play Barbarian Invasion. I'd just like to issue an open invitation to any of you that'd like to join us on a Sunday evening. It would be great to see you playing Barbarian Invasion. And if you've got Rome Total War, you've got Barbarian Invasion with it. Spartan Commander saying bye for now. See you soon.